Oh, wait.
Hey there, this is Lori
Sorry.
with EXP Realty, Real Estate for the Tri-State team, and my business partner, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca Holmes.
Today, we are talking about home inspections, and we have TJ Lester with us. TJ, tell us about your business and what areas you serve, and this has to be your favorite thing in the whole wide world to do, right?
Oh
Home
yeah.
inspection.
So TJ, my business Atlas Property Services. I've had the business for a while, but I never took clients in directly. I always worked underneath another contractor. I did. And the areas that I serve were Charleston, South Charleston, St. Albans, Tays, Winfield. We go up to Huntington. We go down to Montgomery, some areas of Beckley, not too far south, but so that's the areas that we serve, and I love doing it. It's fun. I like doing it generally just because it's fun, and also I get paid to do it, so that's a
bonus.
Yeah.
Well, like us, like your days, no one day is the same.
No, it's always something different, some new buildings, some new style, something, it's always something different.
What I just got to ask you this question. What is the scariest or worst thing you've seen in a home inspection?
Scariest.
Snake.
Snakes and crawl space has got to be the first.
Oh.
So the last time it was like I was all in the crawl space, and toward the end I was just looking, kind of making my way out, and that's when I seen it, and then I was like, okay, I'm gone. It worked out good. I seen it toward the end. They still got a good crawl space inspection, but
and I'm sure it was like 100 feet long, and it was, scary.
It's a little bit different when you're nose to nose with one. When you see one on the ground and you're standing, you can run. I got to crawl.
Oh, gosh, it can be a lot faster than you can, probably.
Oh yeah, I'd say.
That's funny. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Forget it.
Yeah. Now I see sheds and stuff. I seen a shed, like a snake skin the other day, and I just kept on going, but the real thing's a little different,
Oh,
That's true. That's true. That's true. So go ahead, Rebecca. I know you've got a question.
I was going to say so the first question I really wanted to ask was kind of what is the most common home inspection finding for you? That doesn't necessarily have to be like the biggest problem, but just most common. What would you say you find the most of?
It's mostly like little maintenance things, like dryer vent that goes through the crawl space is loose. It's just blowing in the crawl space. I'm trying to think here. Vapor barrier in the crawl space. That's another one. GFCI is missing in places that have water nearby, like outdoors next to a sink. They're pretty common things. Loose toilets.
Junction boxes, that's something that seems to come up.
Covers for junction boxes.
Why in the world do people? I don't know if it's the electricians that don't cover them or what.
I do not know. So I forgot to mention that I am actually an electrician. I'm a master electrician, I just got my electrical inspector's license also.
Awesome.
Nice.
But I don't know why they leave them off. That's not something that I do in my trade. I never do that. But it's a lot of little things like that. Loose toilets, that's another one that I always see. But the junction box covers has got to be like I think a junction box cover maybe like 30 cents. It's so easy to fix. Light bulbs, especially if they're like something where I would have to pack a ladder with me and check every single light. A lot of that's just not something a home inspector is going to do. And then it ends up filling the report up. This light's out. I don't know if it's electric problem or light bulb, and that's silly stuff,
Yeah, things that didn't need to happen. Things that didn't need to be.
Yeah, just little things.
Yeah, and you said it makes the report, makes the report longer, and then people get freaked out when they first get it. And that's one of the questions, is just kind of how to keep that from happening, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So then also, what would you recommend, kind of along that vein, what would you recommend a seller do to prep for the inspection? Or even
Really,
just their house listed?
yeah, the biggest thing is like just making sure that I can get everywhere I need to be. No locked crawl spaces. Like if you got attic access that's in a closet, don't keep, if you could move some of your nice clothing out, make it accessible, because it really helps buyers when they have peace of mind, that I was able to do this, that I was able to do this. And it quickens the process that I was able to inspect every single thing while I was there. I'm not going to have to go back and make sure, like that the gas furnace works. The gas was on, so I can check it the first time.
Right.
It's quick, makes it quick, seamless process. And I think that's probably the biggest things, is just, take care of some of these little small issues, make sure everything's accessible. And yeah, I mean, that's primarily just two big things right there. And that would go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So then us as realtors, when we are talking to our sellers, just making sure to tell them, that's a really good reminder that we need to make sure to tell them, make sure your utilities are all on, make sure that everything is accessible, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there was the one that comes to mind. They had I was in one house, and there was like a probably a $80,000-$90,000 Corvette underneath the attic access. I'm just, not got a liability standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the attic access right underneath your nice car. For one, I don't want to buy a windshield. So there's things like that,
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. Didn't even think about that. Crazy. You'd think that'd be common sense, but some people just don't understand, or
it slips your mind, and it might be a stressful process for somebody. They're going through a lot of stuff, a lot of changes, so they might just not even realize, oh yeah, I forgot to park the Corvette underneath the attic access.
Do you like it when buyers come to home inspections with you?
So, for one, I'm a chatty Cathy, right? And I'll talk somebody's head off. So ideally they come to the end so that I'm able to, I don't have anybody to talk to, so I have no choice but to do what I'm there to do. And it makes it go a little faster. If they show up to the end, I don't mind spending, plenty of time with them. And I can take them anywhere they want to go, answer any questions, and toward the end, I've got a good idea about the house by that time. If they show up toward the beginning and they want to know a bunch of things, a lot of times I can't answer those questions till I get a little further on through the process. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
There's a podcast I was listening to. I just started listening to it, and it's actually these two realtors from Louisiana, like the Baton Rouge area. And I don't know, I mean, obviously every place does it a little bit differently, but they were talking like the inspection is a huge thing for them, that they go to, both agents on both sides, the buyers and the sellers are all there for the inspection. And I was just gonna see, I mean, that's not typical, at least for me, I've been up in North Central and down here, and just that's not usually typical. What do you think about that?
So I don't have any problem with the realtors or anybody showing up really at all. Even like we were talking, it's better for the buyer if they show up till the end, but I don't have a problem with them being there. Now, if the realtor wants to show up, bring some coveralls. We'll go hang out in the crawl space. We'll go check some things out
with the snakes. Like in Ohio, though.
Bad idea.
In Ohio, it's a responsibility of the listing agent or the buyer's agent to be there. And I don't personally, if I'm the listing agent, I don't want to know everything that's wrong with the house. I just don't. I mean, it's because what might matter to me may not matter to the buyer or the seller, So
exactly.
I don't know. And I think it could make the process last longer. Something that, I don't know, how long does it usually take? 3 hours or so, depending on the size of the house?
Yeah, depending on the size. Like I did a 8,000 square foot house, I think 2 weeks ago. Now that one took a little time. I had a pool. I went and checked all that stuff out, and then the just the roof. I mean, the roof took a lot. It was a big roof too. I was all over that
Sure.
place. Yeah, it was like a jungle gym out there. But so yeah, generally speaking, it's about 3 hours. And then 3.5. I'm done by 3 hours, I would say, and then I'll talk for a little bit, go over the big things, and just try to get to know people a little bit, while I'm there. So about 3.5, something like that.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know.
So then when you do the inspection, you write up the report, you send that to the buyer or to the agent or the buyers, whatever. What would you say? So for me, I remember the first report that I ever got, the first buyers that I was working with, it overwhelmed me, as the realtor, because I hadn't seen them before. And the buyers were first time home buyer. So I'm trying to play it cool. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got 40 pages. And and I'm just like trying to go over it and everything. So how would you suggest people approach it? Obviously we do try to we try to prepare people. Okay, it's going to be a long report, but they're going to put every burnt out light bulb in there. They're just to cover yourself as well.
So I think the first thing, and this is something that a first time home buyer may not realize, is that everything can be fixed. It may take time, it may take some money, but there is nothing that's broken that cannot be fixed. Not one single thing that you will ever see cannot be fixed. So, just get into that mindset. I remember like when I was like 18, 19, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'll break that, just because I was scared of doing that because I had no idea how I would fix it. If I broke it, I had no idea. And now that's not the case, we can figure something out. And, I try to talk to my buyer's agent and just tell them, here, look, this is what we've got. These are the big things. Try to call every single one after a report. And I'll do that with the client too. I'm like, this is what you need to focus on. These are the big things, but also talking to the buyer's agent, because you guys develop more of a relationship with your clients. I only get to see them like maybe once or twice, and I keep up with some of them, I add them on Facebook and talk to them a little bit. But you guys have more of a relationship with them. So, like this is the first time home buyer, this is way too much little repairs for this, single mom to do or whatever. Right. So you know them better than I do. So you're more able to tell them, interpret that report better. And you guys see just as many reports as I do. So you know what's right for somebody.
Yep. I had buyers not too long ago that, were getting to an age of retirement, and the sellers didn't know the age of the roof, but the home inspection was done. And when the report came back and the age of the roof was, about this many years old, my buyer said, no, I don't want to buy the house. I just don't, because they knew it was probably toward the end of its life. They were getting ready to retire, and they didn't want to put on a new roof. And the sellers didn't know the age. So that was, that was even, they didn't even want to, discuss, a price change or anything,
Yeah.
So everybody's different, right? Everybody's different.
You may have the buyer, her husband, he may be a carpenter. He's like, the roof, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. So it's just, different strokes for different folks,
Exactly.
Yeah, because I've had, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just prioritizing, and that's part of also prepping them. Okay, when we get this back, let's prioritize what's important to you. What's important to you that gets fixed before you even move in. And then, okay, this is your house. You're probably going to be living in it for 5 to 10, maybe more years. What can you wait on, and what's not going to freak you out when you get this report back?
Yep.
Do you find that structural issues are probably one of the biggest concerns for buyers?
I think so, but that
electric.
Also, I think structural probably scares them the most. but it shouldn't, because that too can be fixed, you know.
Mhm.
Now sometimes like, you know, and a lot of times like if there are structural issues, sometimes these issues have already been addressed and taken care of, and there's warranties, or they've got a plan in action. Like maybe they're, you know, planning to put so much money up front for the repair, so they're already aware of it. So
Mhm.
you know, that's something that, you know, that's an obvious thing, you know, that they see the structural thing. The electrical thing, um, a lot of clients don't really know, you know, they're not electricians, so
Right.
they don't really know some of this stuff. So I have to interpret and tell them, you know, junction box cover, you know, it's a little thing. It has the potential to do something, but you know, it's not really a big deal. You know, they've got I'm trying to think of something. They've got like a gauge wire on 100 amp breaker or something. That may be a house fire. You know,
Mhm.
that's things, and that right there is easy to fix. You
Yeah.
know, so I have to interpret the electrical stuff. The structural thing, you know, uh, structural issues, people can see those. They understand what's going on. Hey, this, you know, they
Right.
play with Legos, you know.
Yeah. Put a marble on the floor and see.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you have a pet peeve? Like, is there something that you see and you think, daggone it, why does everybody do that or not do that?
I'm trying. I think it has got to be some of the plumbing stuff
Really?
underneath things. I think, yeah, because sometimes it's like I just try to get in the mindset of who did this. Like, you know, what were they thinking here? You know, it's not right, but they thought this would work. You know, it really puzzles.
Hey, listen, duct tape can fix anything.
That's right. Yeah, seen that before.
One of my pet peeves is when um, there's a stain on a ceiling
Hmm.
that, you know, the repair was done 10 years ago, but they never painted the ceiling.
Yeah,
That drives me crazy. I mean,
yeah.
it's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah, and then I get there and I'm like, there's a ceiling stain. You
Right.
know, I'm there for one day, so I don't know, you know. And I'm like, is this roof leaking? It doesn't look like it. Is it something
Yeah.
with the flashing? What's going on here? You know?
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a good point there. You know,
Mhm.
take care of some of that stuff.
Well, because buyers, I don't know about you, Rebecca, but I've been with buyers where you see a ceiling stain, they'll go, "Oh, there's a roof leak."
Right,
Maybe not, you know,
right. Never know. Yeah.
Mhm.
maybe not. They fixed the roof, but they were too lazy to just paint.
Yep.
Touch it, see if it's wet.
That's one of those things that, you know, we need to be cognizant of too as we're listing a house, looking around, seeing that sort of stuff. Okay, well, we don't want to put any undue worry, you know, in buyers' minds when they see these things too. So
Mhm.
I was thinking one more thing, just you know, for people watching this and everything, when who just maybe might not know. So a home inspector is, you guys are trained and certified to essentially assess, right? Like assess, inspect everything, like you said, from all different types of issues, from the ground all the way to the roof. Um, but what also happens then is if there is an issue, we will typically get um someone like a specific, like a roofer. If there's an issue with the roof, we'll get a roofer. We'll get something like that. So the home inspector's job is to point out things that may be an issue or may become an issue. I don't know if you want to go any further on that, but just so people know.
Yeah, so a lot of times, you know, I may like see something on the roof that uh, that may warrant my attention. You know, I've never installed a terracotta clay roof. That is something that, you know, you would really want to get a specialist to look at. You
Mhm.
know, I'll look at it. I can identify blatant, obvious problems with those loose shingles. You know, the clay tiles, like, uh, but those are things, you know, specialty type things, but generally for like the electric, that's what I do. So, I know that, and I know contractors, that if anybody's like, hey, I need somebody to do some electric work, whatever, I have a whole bunch of electrical contractors, electricians, master electricians, a whole bunch of them that I can get to come and assist somebody if they need it, or, just I got a resource of network of contacts. I know roofers, HVAC guys, electricians, things like that. So hit me up if you can't find somebody to do some repairs or something like that. I've got all kinds of people that do
That's
this
awesome.
every day. Yeah.
That's wonderful. It's great to be to have resources,
Mhm.
that helps everybody. That helps us and you. And, we were just having a conversation with a lender. There are 5 professionals in a real estate transaction, and
Yeah.
it takes all of us to make it happen.
Yep. Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah. And I'm actually thinking about like creating maybe a list of like people that I would recommend, people that I know do good work, things like that. And then, if you want to use them, they can. I don't get anything out of this, of course, but it's just people that I know do good work and will do honest work for people.
Yeah. That's
To help
important.
you. Yeah. And if they do not do honest work, you let me know, because I will not tell anybody about them ever again.
Yeah. Off with their head. They're out.
Yeah. Now, I was telling that to somebody the other day. I was like, you let me know how they do. If they do not do good, you let me know. So I
Yeah.
ain't gonna tell
More
nobody.
recommendations for you. Yeah, exactly.
True. Very true.
Because I'm trying to help my people out. I'm not gonna send them to crooks. I don't want to do that. That because their interest is, what's their best interest is my best interest.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm
Right.
looking out. And if they want to hit me up, a couple months, years later, and say, hey, I got a question about this toilet here. Now, what did you say? How do we do this? Whatever.
Mhm.
I don't care to answer stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's no problem at all for me.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy doing that, because I'm here to educate, assess the property, and then, try to help you along the rest of the way, get you closed on something, or get you out of this situation. Maybe this is a house that,
Good point.
you may not be right for, or it's got some issues that, it's just not going to be right for you. You're not going to be able to do that, or it's going to be too expensive for you to do it, or something like that.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that the other point of that too is that, as we all work together and we give recommendations, we're a resource for other things. That's a reflection on our businesses. And, we all want returning customers and clients, and we want referrals. I mean, it's such a big part of all of our businesses.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm actually, I don't have them with me, but I made some postcards. I'm like, this is a discount card here for referrals or whatever, to start out my referral network or whatever. So
Mhm.
I hand them to my clients at the end of the inspection. They give it to a friend or whatever. They can use their
Yeah.
discount or whatever, and just to get some referrals and stuff, because
Mhm.
to get more business. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because you're so busy all the
Yeah.
time. Like there's never, like even today, me being late here, that was because, if you, I know it's actually a compliment, because if you do good work, you're going to be busy.
Mhm.
Yep.
You're
True.
going to be in
Very
high
true.
demand.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, anybody have anything they want to add? This has been a great conversation.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much, TJ. How can people find you if they need you?
So I have a website. It's atlaswv.net. I have Facebook, LinkedIn, all the things. My business is posted to Google. You can do a search for me, whatever. And yeah, I mean, even if you're not going to schedule an inspection, if you've got a question about something, just, call me or shoot me a text or something. That's fine. I don't care to answer questions about, hey, this is going on.
Mm-hmm. That's
Uh,
awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime at all.
Okay.
All right,
We'll
bye.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.